What is inheritance? Inheritance is one of the major pillars of object-oriented programming. It is a process in which one class is allowed to acquire or inherit the features of another class. The class whose features are inherited is known as superclass, base class, or parent class. So the superclass is also known as base class or parent class, and a class that inherits the features of other class is known as subclass, derived class, or child class. So the subclass is also known as derived class or child class. In our videos, I'll be using terms superclass and subclass. So subclass extends superclass. Extends is the keyword used to implement inheritance in Java. Why do you need inheritance? What is inheritance? You have a new class that includes the features of an existing class. So this existing class is known as superclass and a new class is known as subclass. And why do you need inheritance? Inheritance allows you to reuse member variables. Member variables are also known as instance variables, methods, constructors, etc. of the existing class when you create a new class. By using inheritance, you can inherit instance variables, methods already defined in the superclass in your subclass. You don't have to write the code again. This helps to avoid code redundancy. That is, it avoids repetition of code. Let us take real life example of inheritance. Suppose you have a vehicle and vehicle has some features like vehicle has registration number, it has brand name. Also the task vehicle can do is you can start the vehicle, you can drive the vehicle, and you can stop the vehicle. So this is the existing class you have named vehicle. Now suppose a client comes to you and says that he needs a vehicle that has goods compartment and it should be used for freight shipping. Is it a good idea to make changes to the existing vehicle? No, because there might be some other client who don't require goods compartment. He is happy with the existing vehicle. So in such a scenario, you can include all the features of existing vehicle. Also, you can add on new features such as goods compartment that a client specifically needs. This is called as inheritance. The new vehicle truck inherits the features of existing vehicle. Also, it has its own unique features such as goods compartment, and it has its own unique tasks such as freight shipping. One more use of inheritance is you may not have permission to make changes to the vehicle. You may be only allowed to use its features. This generally happens when one programmer writes the code and some other programmer doesn't have permission to change the code. But he may inherit the existing class and reuse the code. This saves the efforts and repetition of code. So the syntax used for inheritance in Java is you define a class keyword, name of the subclass, extends keyword, and name of the superclass that you want to inherit. Extends keyword is used to inherit from the superclass. For example, class car extends vehicle. Types of inheritance. There is single inheritance, multi-level inheritance, hierarchical inheritance, and this type, that is multiple inheritance, is not allowed in Java. Java does not allow multiple inheritance. Java only allows single, multi-level, and hierarchical inheritance. So this diagram will give complete picture of types of inheritance. What is single inheritance? In single inheritance, there is one subclass that inherits the features of one superclass. For example, there is a superclass vehicle. Now it has these instance variables: registration number, brand, type, number of wheels, number of seats. Also, it has 4 methods: start, stop, honk, and drive. So these are the features of vehicle class. Now there is a class car that inherits vehicle. So car will inherit all the member variables and methods of class vehicle by just using extends keyword. So these member variables: registration number, brand, type, number of wheels, number of seats. Also these methods: start, stop, honk, and drive. You don't have to repeat all these features again in the car class. When you say car extends vehicle, it will inherit all these features automatically. Car also has its own unique features, like it has air condition, seat belt, car has reverse gear. See, not all vehicles can have reverse gear. Bike is also a vehicle, but not all bikes have a reverse gear. Bike does not have AC or seat belt. That is why you cannot include these features in vehicle class, because when bike inherits vehicle, it will inherit all these features, and that is not the right thing. These are the unique features of class car. So here we have defined instance variable EC and seatbelt and method reverse. So as the definition goes, subclass inherits the features of superclass and it may have its own unique features. Now what is multi-level inheritance? In multi-level inheritance, a subclass will be inheriting a superclass as well as the subclass also act as superclass to other class. For example, car inherits vehicle. So in this case, car is a subclass and vehicle is a superclass. Also, sports car inherits car. In this case, car is a superclass and sports car is a subclass. This is called as multi-level inheritance. You have a class car that is a subclass as well as a superclass. Sports car will inherit the features of class car as well as vehicle. So sports car will include all the instance variables and methods of vehicle as well as all the instance variables and method of class car, plus it will have its own unique features such as high speed and powerful engine. This is how multi-level inheritance works. All the superclass features are inherited in the subclass. In single inheritance, you have parent and child. In multi-level inheritance, you have grandparent, parent and child. And this can go on. Sports car may have some other child. What is hierarchical inheritance? In hierarchical inheritance, one superclass will have more than one subclasses. So you have superclass vehicle. Vehicle has multiple subclasses. Car, truck and bike. Car, truck and bike are at the same level of hierarchy. Also, one important point to remember, inheritance represents is a relationship. Car is a vehicle, means that car will inherit all the features of vehicle. Truck is a vehicle, truck will inherit all the features of vehicle. And bike is a vehicle, bike will inherit all the features of vehicle. So there is one superclass and multiple subclasses. Sports car is also a subclass of vehicle, but in multi-level hierarchy. So there is one more type of inheritance, multiple inheritance, which is not allowed in Java. What is multiple inheritance? One subclass has more than one superclass. Multiple inheritance is not allowed in Java. In Java, multiple inheritance is achieved by using interfaces. Now what is interface? We have a separate video on that. Let us take a real life example. There is a class mammal and there is a class winged animal. These are the two superclasses. Class bat inherits mammal as well as winged animal. So this happens multiple inheritance where a subclass inherits more than one superclass. Class bat will inherit all the features of mammal as well as winged animal. So why is multiple inheritance not allowed in Java? To avoid ambiguity. For example, mammal has a method sound and winged animal also has a method sound. When subclass inherits superclass, it inherits all the instance variables and methods belonging to the superclass. So if you have two superclasses and you have same method name in both the superclasses, it's very confusing which superclass method should be called. So in this case, it's very confusing for bat to invoke sound method because sound method is present in both the superclasses. So to avoid such situations, multiple inheritance is not allowed in Java. So this was about types of inheritance. We are going to use these real life examples of vehicle to understand programming concepts. Let us write program for single inheritance, multi-level inheritance and hierarchical inheritance.